Hey Aussie Gamers, welcome to episode 59 of the Aussie Gamers Express podcast, the podcast that simply plays video games. I am your host LewkOne, and joining me as usual is my good friend Thorncliffe. How are you, mate?
I am fantastic.
Awesome, and we're also joined by my other good friend Red. How are you?
Well, I can't say fantastic now because I'll be called a copycat. I'm awesome.
Yeah, you are not a copycat. You're a liar, pants on fire.
Wicked.
That was a ranger joke. Did you get that?
Yeah. Fan of Pants 9, bro.
Fan of Pants. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, look, first of all, I just want to explain to all of our listeners what we're doing this week, because it's not going to be our regular show. From time to time, we have special shows, such as like the EV Games Expo and things like that. Today, we're recording the Game of the Year for 2014. So we're going to have a few different categories that Sean, you organised with the other admins from the Aussie Gamers staff. And I also want to say thank you very much for all of your hard work with that. That was heaps of work gone in and good work came out. So good work to you. Thank you.
Yeah, it was also to the other guys as well. The fellow admins, absolutely awesome content there.
Yeah, so thank you very much to Stooch, Aishless, Swifty, Snitty, and Nico. So hopefully you haven't forgotten anybody there, but I think that's everyone that's contributed, and plus you guys as well. So what we will be doing, sort of the breakup of the show, Stooch is going to open up the show with his little interview with Sean. He's going to be running through Best of the Xbox One for 2014. After him, Aishless is going to go through his lowlights for 2014, so things that weren't so impressive after we were expecting them to be. Then after that, Swifty's going to run through the biggest letdowns and worst game for 2014. Then after that, King Snitty, he's going to give us his top 5 games of 2014. And then Nikos will bring it home with his highlights for 2014. Then we will run through our Game of the Year. We've got our top 10s. So that'll be myself, Red, and Sean will run through top 10 games, all the way down to our very own Game of the Year. Will it be unanimous? Or maybe, who knows? Well, so because I don't know what your Game of the Year is, and I don't know what Sean, and I don't know what yours is, Red. So it'll be a very interesting top 10 countdown.
Yeah, well, I've actually got a few in there that were a little unexpected, but I really enjoyed. So it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I guess
look at... sorry, was that you, Red?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
If Sean actually played 10 games this year.
He played every single game that came out this year. The question is, how many did he finish?
For 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, much love.
That's it. For all the what's that sounds that he gets, I've got to stop using sound effects from the beginning of games. If I use them from at least the 3-hour to the 12-hour point in the game, it'll probably stump him. But he is our Rain Man, and we love him so. All right, without further ado, we'll kick off the first segment for this week's show, which is with Stooch and the best of the Xbox One for 2014.
Alright guys, so here we are now with Stooch. We're going to be talking about right now the best of Xbox One for 2014. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Dave, for now, and you tell me what has been the best thing about the Xbox One this year.
Okay, hello. So with the best of the Xbox One, I think that the console updates coming each month were fairly important to it. It improved on the interface from when it was first released, which was fairly shocking. Like, it's upgraded it, so it's got interaction with your friends and more of knowing what people are doing, like the Xbox 360 was, which was really good, I have found. They've also sort of dropped the Kinect with the Xbox One, which was a big selling point for most people. And most people didn't like the Kinect and the voice features that it had because it wasn't working consistently, and it's still not working well.
Yeah, I think the main thing what I found is with the Kinectless Xbox is it was $100 cheaper as well. And for something that wasn't necessary to the console, like $100, it dropped it down to around the price of the PS4. And it started selling consoles that way. There's no way that I need a Kinect. I'm getting an Xbox, and there's no way that I need the Kinect just for the simple fact is I live in a small house, and there's no point in having it where you're going to be so close to the TV. And as you said, the voice commands, they don't even work for the Americans, which they're based on. It's just pointless having it as a compulsory part of the console.
Is. Like, I've got the Kinect at the moment. I don't use it that much either. Like, the only thing I use it for is to say Xbox record that when I want to make a 30-second game clip. And besides that, I navigate everything through my controller, which they've actually improved with the updates. So the Kinect isn't really important, and it has made the price, as you said, more comparable to the PS4. And therefore, people are buying it because they've always saw the Xbox One as a less powerful machine, and by having
more expensive as well.
Yeah. So, and by having no Kinect, it's given them the chance to improve some of the performance of the Xbox as well, with like being able to give 12% more to the graphics of the actual console when it runs games.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, so what do we got next for 2014?
So I believe that the Xbox press conference was actually a really big improvement from last year when they did the E3 show.
Yep.
Like last year was a sort of a big confused message of what the Xbox was and how it was all going to run, and then slightly shortly after the E3 conference last year, they changed everything they said the Xbox was going to do.
Yep. And so that was all involved with the whole DRM and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Being online all the time and always needing Xbox Gold and stuff. And now they've changed all that, and in this conference they've bought pretty much all the games that people wanted to see at the last conference. Like, I think every bit of the show was a new game or information about a game that was coming to their console, even if it was third party or first party, and people just love that. Like, I was watching the presentation myself, and I was just amazed of how many games were coming to the Xbox One and how they presented them all throughout the show.
Yeah, so we've got coming soon, we've got like they did a big bit on the Master Chief Collection, which we'll talk about shortly. Sunset Overdrive. They also, a big deal about Halo 5 was coming out, so that's going to be pretty massive for the Xbox One. But you've got the Xbox One and that. What is it that you saw at E3 that you went, wow, I really can't wait for this?
What I couldn't wait for was pretty much what you said. It was Halo 5. I'm a big Halo fan, and seeing that clip of Halo 5 there and the beta footage that they're going to have for the multiplayer coming out in December was just fantastic. Like, I've been dying for a new first-person shooter game, and Destiny's filled the hole for a while, but deep down, I am a Halo fan, and that's what I wanted from the conference, and that's what I got.
Yeah, awesome. So, exclusive-wise that have come out this year, we've had Titanfall, Forza Horizon 2, Sunset Overdrive, Master Chief Collection. What is it about these exclusives that everything screams Xbox? What is it about the exclusives that you love the most?
Well, with the exclusive, like, they've all gone through a different part of the gaming. So they've all captured people. Like Titanfall was your first-person online shooter, which took aspects from sort of Call of Duty and then turned them around and provided people with a new way to play, which they haven't played before. Like, they gave you giant robots, and then they gave you fast-paced first-person shooting, which wasn't really around in any other game at the moment, which was really good. Like, I quite enjoyed Titanfall when it first came out, and I played it a few weeks ago with Luke, and just jumping back in was really good.
What is it that Titanfall has over, say, Destiny?
I think Destiny is Halo in a sense. So that was really something that came out, and it wasn't anything new. But Titanfall was
the jetpacks, the massive robots,
jumping on walls, running on walls, massive robots. Being able to play as sort of a human and not feel underpowered when you're versing a robot was really good as well. Like.
Yeah. I like the idea as well of it being a fully online game and a multiplayer experience, which also has bots in it. So you're not just going 5-on-5 or however many team versus team. You've also got your bots that are like your foot soldiers, if you will, that'll be running around the map at the same time as your pilots.
Yeah, that's right. And I thought, like, when that game first got told, when people first heard that the game was going to have bots in it, they sort of complained about them taking up numbers of actual people that could actually play the game. And I think like it was sort of they were mistaken with the concept of like having the bots in the game gave players who weren't really good at multiplayer shooters something to be happy about. They could see, I got 40 something minion kills and 5 pilot kills, but I still helped my team out with getting the overall win for them. Which
it kind of adds in that little bit of an element, like for saying games like your MOBAs out there, which have your main characters, say League of Legends, your big main characters, which in Titanfall would be your pilots, and then your minions that come out, which are your foot soldiers and that. And it's everybody to get through that. Like, these foot soldiers can still kill you and put in massive damage into it. So it is your number one prerogative to go around and start killing all these little foot soldiers before you go after the pilots, because you don't want to be going after a pilot and then all of a sudden you have this minion, this nothing little bot shoot you and kill you. So
yeah, and then when that happens, you just feel, oh well, that sucked. I got killed by a bot instead of an actual person, and it was your own. It's a player's responsibility, as you said, to take care of all the bots before they went out and took out the humans, which just gave the game more variety instead of just going around chasing people who could evade you easily.
Yeah. Okay, so next we're going to move on to is Forza Horizon 2. Now, this is one massive driving force behind me purchasing an Xbox One, again, is that PlayStation as a whole does not have any solid driving simulators at the moment, and it is really annoying. Like, it's got Drive Club, but the massive issues that it's had. Forza Horizon 2 kind of slid under the radar and came into getting released. And tell me, what is it about Forza Horizon 2 that's amazing? I've heard so many things.
Well, one thing was that it's an online game, and it didn't really have any issues at launch like some of the other online games that have had when they're in the previous releases. Like you look at sort of, as you said, the Drive Club on the PS4, and that had major online issues, but Forza didn't have any. So that was sort of one big moving factor with this driving game, that it actually worked at launch. And then you got that, then you got sort of, it was an open world racing game, and you could sort of race anywhere you wanted, and it just improved on the graphics of Forza Horizon 2, which gave you a fantastic driving experience. Unfortunately, I haven't really played that much of Forza Horizon 2, so I can't tell you too much more about it. But from what I've seen and what people have told me, it does sound like it's a fantastic game to have, and it runs smoothly, and that's one of the more important things that's about this game than anything else.
I think that it's one thing that Luke has told us before about this, is Forza Horizon 2 is epic in the fact that you jump into a Ferrari, you jump into a Lamborghini. There's no dicking around in your little Toyota Corolla or anything like that to build it up. You jump straight into these beasts of cars and you
That's
go
right.
for
you
it.
don't have to progress in any way like you did. Like with Forza 5, you had to race in each class, but yeah, you can jump into any car you want and be a badass driving around the streets and doing whatever you want in the game without having to say, all right, I've got to grind for 10 hours trying to get to this league before I can drive this really cool car.
Yeah, I need to earn enough money to purchase one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, so next we're going to jump onto is Sunset Overdrive.
Oh.
Now, we played this at the EB Expo, and it was a clusterfuck.
Yes, I played it.
Multiplayer, it was just insane. You couldn't see what was going on. It was just crazy, but the whole concept behind it, the brightness, the colourfulness, the comedy behind the whole apocalypse becoming humorous, if you would, just has drawn me towards this game. So what is it about Sunset Overdrive that's great as it being an exclusive?
Well, yeah, this game was probably one of my favourite for the year. It almost took my game of the year from just what you said, like having the game out there like this. It was a bit like playing Tony Hawk again. Like, I like the Tony Hawk games, and then being able to sort of grind over the city and do all these cool tricks and then get all these unique weapons to kill things was just like, it was a breath of fresh air in a sense. Like, all the third-person games I've played lately have been sort of sword-based or go around and kill this thing, and then go and level up the character. But this one,
get this rune, get this, get that, grind. I've played 50 hours and I'm 20%. Yeah.
And this one, it gave you your story, which lasted about 10 to 12 hours, depending how quickly you could complete each mission. And then, even though it was sort of like fetch quest missions, they did it in a unique and fun way. Like, they knew that they'll making fun of other games by doing a fetch quest mission, and then the way the script's written for the game was really got you involved in the game. It was really humorous, and making fun of other games that's come before it was just a unique concept to the game. Like, I haven't really played a game that's made fun of other games before by doing the same thing but just doing it better, in a sense. Like, the mechanics of the game worked really well.
Yeah. So cards are bouncy. You can grind on water.
Yep, you can.
You have a teddy bear with TNT strapped to his chest, which you can shoot at people. Now, this is just an over-the-top, just crazy game, and I cannot wait to really get my hands on this when I get my Xbox One. So
if anyone has an Xbox One, this is one of the games they should play this year or early next year. Like, just the way the mechanics of the games, as I said, it works really flawlessly. There aren't many frame rate issues in the game, so if you're a big person for graphics, you won't sort of see any stutter with the images, and just the way the game looks. Like, it's a bright, colourful game, and you wouldn't expect that from a game that's based around the death of all humans within an area.
Yeah, so, and it's good when games like this don't take themselves too seriously.
No,
there's a bug, there's something wrong. You know what? Of course there's going to be bugs. Of course there's going to be something wrong. You know, we're not taking ourselves seriously because the game isn't meant to be taken seriously.
No, it's meant to be
fun.
Game. Yeah, so, that's right.
Yeah, it's about time we started getting more of these games out there that are like, oh, you know, we're based on fun. It's stupid, it's crazy, but it's fun. So
yeah, and they knew all this stuff when they bought their game out. They knew the game was going to be stupid. They knew it was going to be hectic, but that's what they were pushing for. They were pushing for a silly game to come out that was just fun to play.
That was also good.
That's right. Like, the story in no way was lacking in any sense. Like, it gave you a good narrative to follow, and the way your character was designed, like, you can design your character any way you wanted. And then from there, instead of upgrading your character, saying you had to kill 500 OD to level up, you actually get amps that you can attach to your character and your weapons, which each time you play gave you a new thing to do. So if you wanted to have lightning damage, you would equip that amp. But if you wanted to have a massive tornado come out of your baseball bat, you equip that amp, and it gave you a new way to play. Like, instead of giving you a skill to achieve, having amps provided you with a unique way to play. And then when I was playing with my friends online, each of us had a different way we could kill the enemy. Like, I would use like the freezing ability to freeze enemies, and my friend would have fire to burn the surroundings around him.
Awesome.
And, yeah, it was just a fun game to play, and yeah, I really like this game. This is one of the games that you must have for an Xbox, I feel, at the moment.
Awesome. I can't wait to be able to get on and play it with you. Okay, so we'll go to the last one, which is a massive, big exclusive this year that came out, Master Chief Collection, Halo 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it was an epic game.
So 1 and 2 fully remastered?
Yes, well,
1, 2, and 3 probably fully remastered, and 4 pretty much upscaled a bit. But
yes, so Halo 1 got its remastered on the Xbox 360, so they just ported that over and gave it a bit of a graphics boost. Same with Halo 3, that didn't really receive too much attention besides improving the graphics and making it 1080p, 60 frames per second. But Halo 2 was sort of the baby of this anniversary edition.
10-year anniversary
for it, and it received new cutscenes done by, I believe it was Blur Studios, new sounds for the weapons, they went over did the voice acting for some of the parts of it, and yeah, it's an epic 4-piece game, and it was nice to have on the Xbox. Like, this is one of the games I'm never going to delete off my console whatsoever.
Yeah. So this is all the multiplayer maps. You've actually got access to Halo Nightfall as well. Master Chief Collection gets access to the beta for Halo 5 Guardians, isn't it?
Yep.
So this is amazing. I've always been a fan of the Halos. I've played all of them, and Master Chief is such an epic character, and it's good to have a collection which is just Master Chief. No Reach, no ODST, no Halo Wars. It's just
pure
Halo 1 to 4 Master Chief, and it is epic.
Yeah.
The ability to be able to go from original graphics to remastered is just amazing as well. It seemed seamless. You push the button and it just automatically changes. No cutting out for 10 seconds while it drops it. Just flick in, flick out.
No, and it was really good. Like, seeing the graphics from Halo 2 10 years ago and what they did today was just astonishing. Like, you think, Halo 2 isn't that bad if you play it again on like your Xbox 360 or your Xbox One, your original Xbox, sorry. But flicking back between the two graphics, you think, oh wow, the game aged a lot, and it did need this anniversary edition to be made relevant again within this generation.
But that's what's amazing about these Halo games is that at the time they were revolutionary. They were just beautiful, amazing games. The graphics in these when they were first released, hands down, were the best across any console. Looking back at it now, though, we see just how far we've come from start of a generation to the end of the last generation on Xbox 360 because, wow, like Halo 2 came out when the 360 came out. And actually, to look at what Halo 4 looked like, it was completely different.
Like, and you also got to remember with the Halo games, with the Master Chief Collection, they didn't actually change any of the gameplay around. They've kept it all the same. And for a shooter that's 10 years old, still to sort of hold up in today's standards of first-person shooters is phenomenal. Like, going through. Like, I did have a bit of trouble remembering how to play Halo at first because the left triggers just sort of you zoom in for every other first-person shooter game. But once you sort of remember to play Halo, it felt natural. It felt like it was a shooter made for this year. It was really good.
All right, awesome. So that there's our best of Xbox One for 2014. And I'd like to thank you for coming on. It's been great having a chat and reminiscing about what's been going on this year. Last but not least, I want to ask you two questions. What is your most anticipated for 2015?
Most anticipated for 2015? It would have to be Halo 5. I would like to see what's happening next after excited and see where it's going.
Spoiler alert! And what's your game of the year for 2014?
My game of the year was Dark Souls 2.
Oh, of course it was.
Yes.
So that was on PS3 or PS4 or 360?
It was actually on 360. This is going to make me sound like a bit of a fanboy for the series, but I must say I've got Dark Souls 2 on Xbox 360, PC, and PlayStation 3.
And this is very interesting that your game of the year is a last gen game.
Yes, it is. Like,
awesome. I've got a couple in there in the last gen, which are in my top 10 list, but it's good to see. Yeah. So Dark Souls 2.
Yes, Dark Souls 2 was my game of the year, and with sort of most anticipated games for next year, I must say Bloodborne is one of the ones up there too on the PS4. That game's just going to be phenomenal, I think, as well.
Looks amazing.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. We'll leave that there and
all right, thanks for having me.
Alright, well that was Stooch's best of Xbox One for 2014 and he's picked Dark Souls 2, which is something I haven't even played. Have you guys?
No.
No?
I basically heard how brutal the Dark Souls games were and I thought, you know what, like I'm not probably the best person to sit down and try and play that because I'm not the best at finishing games anyway, so therefore...
a hard one's going to have no chance.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Alright, well let's move on and have a listen to what Aeschylus has to say about the lowlights for 2014.
Alright guys, at the moment here we've got Lucas, or as used on the page we'll know him as Aeschylus. So we're going to talk about some of the lowlights of this year in gaming. So there's been heaps of highlights, some awesome games coming out, but then again as well there's been a few lowlights as well. So Aish, what would be your lowlights for the year?
Mate, I'd probably say Destiny. It was hyped up so much. If you saw the trailers in 2013 where it showed Saturn, it showed Saturn's rings, it was talking about Finklage and how he's going to be a voiceover for it and all the semantics, and everyone was like, oh, this is going to be really, really good, and then you get to it and you're just like, where's the story? Barely any loot. Where's all these great things they were promising? Where's Saturn gone? I had a fellow Aussie gamer sort of suggests that the DLC wasn't really a DLC, it was more just a C, so it was more just content.
Yeah, according to Luke, who I spoke with him yesterday, and that was the whole thing behind it was a 250 megabyte update for the DLC. Everything was content, everything was on the disc. It wasn't even actually downloadable content. It was more, as he put it, ODC, on disc content. So, yeah, that's a bit of a...
Yeah, well, I'm
there.
finding it's not really extending the game. It's just filling in the gaps in the game it just feels like they've just cut it up and gone, well, every 6 months we'll fill in the holes in the game. And kudos to Bungie for fixing it, but it doesn't look like it was damaged in the first place. It looks like this was an end of game. Oh, let's just hack it up and then release it to the people. So my questions are: what's the story? Why care about, why should I worry about Guardians? These are the things that let down Destiny. I still play it. I still hammer it every day. I still grind out the barely any loot, the barely any story. But, there was poor voiceovers. So, Dinklage, it's, when you play previous games where you've got a, little robot or a companion to the story, he's not filling in the gaps. Like, there's no humour. I understand he's a robot, but there's no... He tries, but it's just missing the point.
Yeah, so it doesn't break up the thing. Like, perfect example of an awesome robot in a game is Wheatley from Portal 2. He's funny, breaks up the gameplay as it goes through, but he's also helpful. And, yeah, that's kind of where they miss it with the Ghost in Destiny, I think.
And I guess to summarise everything, in the first ever cutscene of the game, you meet your Ghost, and he says this one line that still sticks with me, and it's, "You are going to see a lot you cannot understand." Yet that sums up Destiny, because there's so many things. I'm like, well, why are the Fallen and the Vex fighting? Why does everyone hate each other? Why, you're having to use your imagination to fill these in rather than, like someone actually telling you or reading it. You're having to actually try and grasp it. Okay, why am I spending this amount of money buying a game that doesn't tell me anything?
Yeah,
like even Diablo 3 to a point had a better story than what I'm finding in Destiny. So,
well, this is the thing with Blizzard, is Blizzard are able to put out these games which constantly expand on top of each other. Each of their World of Warcraft and their 5 expansions, is each one of them has an end game for that expansion. It finishes it up, and then you move on to a next big thing that's happening. I think that it's just adding extra levels and adding bit of content into Destiny. They don't quite know how to do it at the moment. They don't know how to get the right mix of where this game should finish before we add the next bit on. And to be able to do that for Destiny to be successful over this big 10-year plan that they have, it's not going to be successful.
Well, it's not really... It doesn't feel to me like they're adding onto the end of it. It feels like they're adding to the middle. They're filling in these giant gaps in story, in content. Another key example was the weapon customization. So in 2013... the big selling point was, the Stormlord, which I currently own as a heavy weapon, you were meant to adjust that it does either more damage to the final boss or more damage to adds as you come across them in the game. Yet now it just seems as simple as you're leveling it up to the point where you max it. Like, there's no really customizing it to get the weapon you want to a point. There are some... with some of the raid gear, like, it does more damage to Vex or it does more damage to something else with one of the helms, but that's just another example of something that was promised. So, they've cut out Saturn, the moon was actually meant to be the end of the game, yet suddenly it's the start of the game. There just seems to be a few things that have happened at the last minute that just don't quite make sense to me. So,
and doing that and mixing up the storyline from what you're initially saying that you're going to do is always going to cause problems, because then the people that have actually written the story for the game and written everything about it, once you start jumbling that up, then story's going to start mixing up and all that.
It just seems that Bungie, I know they've gone away from the Halo, but they must have only taken half their team. They took the team that, good shooting mechanics, good, flawless gameplay, and yet they've sort of missed out on story, the stuff that I guess fills in making it either an MMO or a shooter, making it with elements of RPG or just, another hack and slash. Like it's lacking half a game, and hopefully with the content, the release content, I won't call it DLC, I'll say release content of the original game, when more and more of that comes out, then hopefully it'll make Destiny as a low light for me be a highlight, because it certainly had the potential. So
awesome. So what other lowlights have you got for this year? Anything that you think was a low point in the year? Like I'm thinking like certain things like the issues that we've had with Assassin's Creed Unity. There's been delay after delay with certain games this year, but I'm
probably gonna generalise here, but I think most games developers have realised that we don't want half-assed approaches. We don't want, here's a game full of bugs. That, like The Witcher 3 was another one that's been pulled back. I think developers have realised that if they want a person to actually pirate it rather than, just avoid it completely, you're going to have to give us what we want. You're going to have to give us a whole product, not a rushed product. So that's something I'm finding as someone who's played games for years and years, that companies are starting to realise that if they want to stick around and if they want to make profits, they're going to have to give us something what we want, which is a full game. So
and the internet can be a very, very brutal place.
Oh, definitely. And if they're not going to give us what we want, then there's plenty of ways to mod games and for the public to take it and fix it up. And with pirating and all the other negative sides of gaming and movies and stuff, they're starting to realise that if they want us to pay that, $70, $80, $90 plus expansions, then they're going to have to look after their fans. So who can easily turn? So
yeah, well, we've seen that this year with a lot of the releases that have come out in specific Assassin's Creed Unity, and the massive backlash to that is. But then again, in saying that, there would have been a massive backlash as well if that game was pushed back 4 months. So, you know what, we can't have our cake and eat it too, but if you're going to promise something, deliver on it.
Definitely deliver. And I guess my only last low light would probably be PlayStation 4 software-wise in general. I use my PlayStation 3 a lot. I would watch movies, I'd watch TV.
Hook the hard drive up.
Yep, plug the external hard drives in. USBs, it was pretty much a computer connected to my TV, and now I find
TV.
Yep, as awesome as it is for games and stuff, I'm finding I don't use it at all for the other stuff. And I know they've just said that you can play MP3s off a USB, but I think the programs are there, but compared to the Xbox One, I'm thinking it's very, it wasn't fully completed. So I think they're chasing that up now.
Yeah, I can understand that fully, because I love my PlayStation 3. I had massive issues at the start of my PS4 playing a Blu-ray. Like I put a Blu-ray in, it'd take a long time for it to come and start loading up the actual Blu-ray. So I just stopped bothering using it. So I do not use, that's what I said, I don't use my PS4 for anything but playing games now.
Yep,
so.
and I'm exactly the same, whereas my PS3, I was watching TV shows, watching movies, playing music.
Use it as a TiVo, just to record your TV shows and stuff like that. TV
shows, I was doing it for everything. And now I just find that it's just, I've moved it in next to my computer. So it's not actually on my main TV anymore. It's actually connected to my computer monitor, because it's primary for games now rather than entertainment. But I guess that's the difference between Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox went the entertainment TV. We all, remember that bit. Oh, now it does TV. And we're just sitting there like, well, where's the games? To where PlayStation does games, but probably lacks in the entertainment area. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. All right, so that's it. That's our lowlights for the year. There's a few going around there, but we'll head back on over to LewkOne and myself again. I'm going to be there, and Red for the continuation of the show.
Awesome, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right. Well, yeah, that was Aishless's lowlights for the year. Got any comments on the lowlights of the year? There's been, unfortunately, quite a few.
Well, I do. I actually do. My major lowlight for the year, which has tarnished the whole year for me, was DLC or Season Pass for Watch Dogs.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer, wasn't it? Well, especially for you, because you got it.
Yeah, I paid the $30 straight off the bat, and I still to this date have received $22.95 full rate retail price worth of additional content, and therefore I have not purchased another season pass all year. I was a massive advocate for, this is my game for the year. I want it all. I want it all. But, yeah, so that's my low light, and the other one would be the short life expectancy of my first PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's... Here, I'm in the same boat as you. Mine died before its birthday.
Yep.
It's a shame.
Mine's still going strong.
Yeah,
It's probably because it doesn't get used as much as yours.
It's probably had 30% of the use, but that's no excuse, though. They're built to be used. They're not built to be, sitting in a cupboard collecting dust. That's ridiculous. Anyway, there might have been external factors to mine dying, but that's for another time. Look, back with Watch Dogs. Is anything else coming out for that?
We covered it in the news probably a couple of months ago that there was the rumour / confirmation of a second map in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Too little too late, sorry. I played that Bad Blood a long time down the track after finishing Watch Dogs, which really glared, that the faults in it were really glaring, like the control scheme, knackered.
So it's really starting to look like you paid $30 for something that cost everybody else $22.
Yeah, and they had the choice. I had the choice, don't get me wrong, but I got the DedSec edition. I spent $160 and then went $30, so I nearly paid $200.
Yeah, but you've been flat out ripped off.
Yeah, not happy.
Yeah, you haven't got what you bargained for. A season pass needs to have content. You can't just have one bit of DLC come out that's worth less than what you've already paid. There needs to be a couple of things.
Yep.
Anyway, that sucks. Sad to hear that. All right, well, let's move on to Swifty's biggest letdown and worst game for 2014. She's got a bit of a theme here, just talking about all the shit stuff that's happened throughout the year. There's good stuff coming, don't you worry. All right, so over to Swifty.
All right, guys, everyone, we have Swifty here, and we're going to talk about the worst game / biggest letdowns of 2014. So, Adam, what have you got down as your worst game of the year?
All right, what I have put down, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but for my biggest letdown this year, I have chosen GTA 5 Online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this on the PS4 or Xbox One?
PS4.
Yep.
PS4.
Right, so what's the biggest letdown about this?
Well, the biggest letdown is they didn't bring any new missions into the online multiplayer when they brought it over to PS4, which I seriously thought they were going to do, because I think the highest mission you can get is like level 81. Yeah, I was just expecting more. Also, another thing, the money for the missions, they cut it back.
Okay.
So you're not getting as much money, even on hard, you're not getting as much money for the missions as you were with the PS3.
So it was actually was it a cross-save game? So you could bring your save game from PS3 onto the PS4 for that? All right.
Yeah, you could transfer your character profile over.
So if you'd already done it all on the PS3, there was no point in playing your online on the PS4 because there was nothing new to do, or?
Yeah, pretty much. There was, all you're really doing is driving around helping other people and all that. There's nothing
playing taxi driver and stuff
playing
like that.
taxi driver, yeah, and also hosting missions for other people. But there is really nothing new that, like, you can't just go into the game like, oh right, this is new. I'm going to go do this. I haven't done it before. It's nah.
Was it ever promised that it was going to be something new other than just a remaster?
Well, there was talk from Rockstar back, I think it was about 2 months after they first announced that they were going to be bringing GTA 5 over to the PS4. They said it was going to come with new content. They did actually use the word missions. They also said that they were going to release the heists with the PS4 version, which actually would have been nice considering the fact there was no new missions. Having the heists as an addition for the release would have been really nice, but that hasn't happened.
I haven't even got that on the PS3 on the last gen yet, so...
No, well they...
Assassin's Creed Unity had heists before GTA 5 did.
Yeah, and didn't that start out terrible?
Yes.
They promised a lot of things with the game. Even with the money that they give you at the start, it was only money for one character, not for all three of them, so it was always one ended up with a lot more than the other. So it was.
And how much of that money did you spend on hookers and strippers?
Not
Be
much,
honest.
Not a great deal, because I found out when you finish the game, you can get this new railgun that's like $250,000, and it just causes absolute carnage.
Ah, lovely.
Yes, it is a very nice weapon.
All right, so that's your biggest letdown there. So what have we got for worst game? There's a few contenders out there that I've got, but what was yours?
Worst game. I'm going to apologise to Red for this, but Assassin's Creed Unity, I would have to say worst game. For the simple fact that I've always been a massive, massive Assassin's Creed fan. Ever since the first game, I've absolutely loved them. I played this new one and I've become frustrated with it very, very quickly. Very unhappy with the parkour in it. I thought it was absolutely horrible.
It is good, though, that you've got a controlled descent on it, though.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I really liked for Assassin's Creed was the sword play. I think that's the only thing that I could give it points for.
All right, have you finished it?
No, I haven't finished it. I got frustrated with it because it kept jumping around on me. Massive, massive glitchy problems in it.
The frame rate issues are absolutely terrible, especially in massive areas.
Yeah.
In saying that, once we get this new patch apparently this week or very shortly, which is supposed to fix all the bugs that are remaining in it, we go back. Or has it just burnt you?
I'm not sure yet, because they said before that they were releasing, they had that 1.2 gigabyte download that came out, and they said that was going to be the patch that was to fix it all, and downloaded that, and it didn't seem to be much different. So if they can actually bring out a patch that will fix up the entire game and it will run smooth as, with none of those glitchy problems, no drop in frame rate, then I would probably sit down and give it another go.
All right, any other games up there? We've had some pretty terrible games come out this year. I'm just trying to...
Well, I haven't really played much more than what I have.
Because it's hard to pick a worst game of the year, seeing as you go, well, that game's going to be shit, so I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to get like the worst game of the year. So it's the worst of the best games, if that makes sense.
The worst of the best. I could go Need for Speed Rivals. I don't think that should have been on PS4.
Yeah, it was last year technically, but anyway.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm going to throw out a couple out there.
Yeah.
Biggest letdown disappointment that I had was Destiny. Not for the fact it is a beautiful game. I will give it to it. It is great fun to play. But these are the guys that created Master Chief and Halo. They are kings of stories.
Yeah.
That's what the biggest letdown is. Not the graphics, because it's great. Not the online play, because it's great. It deserves to be in my top 10 when I go through it. But overall, I said that's a massive letdown. Seems like a cash grab, just constantly just flicking out little bits of extra content with a premium price on it. Worst game of the year goes to Rambo. Okay, that was just absolutely terrible. I had to buy it just to play it to go, yep, that's shit.
Actually,
You know what? It was shit.
I'm pretty sure I seen a trailer for it because I was going to download the demo of PSN. And I think I watched the trailer for it, and I'd have to agree. Yeah. Rambo.
It's terrible. I think that Luke might actually agree with that there as well. All right, so there we have it there, the worst game and biggest letdown for 2014. But thank you, Swifty, for coming on.
That's all right,
mate. And we'll get back into the show again.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Okay, we're back into the show again. So that was the biggest letdown and worst game for 2014.
When it just comes to worst game, as I was explaining, it's kind of difficult sometimes to pick your worst game of the year because you don't genuinely go out to purchase a shit game, do you? So
that was a good point that was made during that. Like, it really is.
It's the worst of the best.
It's the worst of the ones that we decided to buy, isn't it? Because we're not playing every single game that comes out. Otherwise, well, with us, because, you know, we're not exactly a massive corporation like IGN or anything like that, we actually have to we actually have to purchase the majority of the games we play. And so we are naturally like a consumer. We're picky with what we buy, and if we don't think that the game is going to be up to scratch, we just won't buy it. So there might be games out there that are a lot worse than the games that we mention, but we just haven't played them, that's all. But that's where it was good when I don't have the subscription at the moment, but when I had the subscription to Get Gaming, I could play a lot more games. But it started to sort of lose its appeal because I couldn't get the games that I wanted because they weren't available and things like that. And
you're settling, which is almost a waste of money.
That's right. And also there were a lot of games that came out that I didn't want to rent. I wanted to own them.
Yep.
So I was going to be buying them, so it'd be silly to rent them and then buy them later. So it's just another waste of money. So that's the situation at the moment. But yeah, you're right, Sean. It's good to point that out. We're not saying that these are the worst games for everything that came out in 2014. It's the worst of the best.
I genuinely played a terrible game.
What was that?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best. But
it felt like a port. It wasn't a PS4 game.
No, it wasn't that great. But I've played worse games.
Yeah,
and as I say, with the Spider-Mans though, it'd be so damn hard to get the physics right.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a Spider-Man, you want to have it something like Mirror's Edge. I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
But just getting the whole physics of the way that Spider-Man moves would be really, really hard, I think.
I think the problem is in the developer studios. They're probably not the biggest well-known studios that make these type of movie tie-in games. So they're a bit touch and go. Look, the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that actually was successful was the Arkham series.
Yeah.
It's not a movie tie-in exactly. But maybe the Wolverine game, which was an actual movie tie-in. That was a pretty good game.
Fall of Cybertron.
That wasn't a movie tie-in game.
No, not true.
But I can see where you're coming from with similar to.
Yeah, the Transformers almost look like what they look like in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's similar sort of thing. Yeah, but pretty hard to get them right. But I think that's because I think most of the budget goes towards the movies, and then they sort of just want a little bit extra cash on the side, which is a shame because it can put a bitter taste in the gamers' mouths. But anyway.
So what's your worst game of the year then?
My worst game of the year? Mate, you said it.
Yeah.
Rambo was a disgrace. That thing was... But not because the graphics were bad, not because it was a bad story, not because the voice acting was lifted directly off VHS. Not for any of those reasons. The reasons it's bad is because it was a shit game. It was not fun to play. it's an on-rails first-person shooter, which would probably have been a little bit more successful if it was an arcade game with a light gun.
Like Time Crisis.
Like a Time Crisis game, yeah. Then it probably would have been... I reckon it probably... Instead of getting a 1 out of 10, I reckon it might have got a 6. Because
and it'd only be good if you were drunk in chaos at about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, well, that would help, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Chaos is like a gaming arcade. I don't know if that's nationwide. But like your time zones or your intensity, yeah, things like that.
And they conveniently put it underneath a club in Penrith.
That's right, absolutely. So you can get pissed and go and play. Have you played the bowling at the Penrith one, Sean?
Yes.
They have like a mini version of like actual 10-pin bowling. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that could have saved that. But the decision to put it on consoles with a gamepad, it's just absolutely rubbish.
Rambo to Roswell. Bury it.
Oh, right. Wonder where you're going with that. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Sniddy's top 5 games of 2014.
All right, so we're here with Mitch King Sniddy, as you know him from the page. We're going to go through your top 5 for this year, 2014. What's your number 5 for the year?
My number 5 for this year is Shadow of Mordor. It sort of grabbed me really well because I used to play the old ones on the PC, the old Lord of the Rings games, and that was sort of garbage. Then this comes out out of nowhere, out of left field, and just, amazes everyone, really.
Yeah, it took it by storm, so there was mixes in there of Assassin's Creed and good old brawling that came out of it. Awesome game. I've actually got this quite high up on my list as well. Absolutely beautiful graphics, looked amazing. What else do you like the subject matter behind Lord of the Rings that drew you to it, or?
Yes, it did for sure, and the Nemesis system as well. Once I figured that out, that was pretty good until the same guy kills you numerous amounts of times, and then he's really strong.
Yeah, and he turns into a war chief, and what I had to learn in that as well is that don't just go into a battle and try and take the guy on because you think you're good enough. You're never just good enough.
No,
you need to do a lot of recon work and try and get the intel on the bigger bosses, because if you go in there straight off the bat, you're going to die, and you're going to die a lot. Like I'm dying a lot playing through it. But, yeah,
especially when you get a nice bow shot on someone and you shoot them fair in the face and they're immune to archery.
Yes. Yes, or you go running into the battle on the back of one of the big beasts. I forget what they're called.
Yes.
And
carry on, whatever it is.
Yeah, and running in there, and then you go to attack the guy, and these beasts enrage him. So so you've got to do your intel work. And the other thing is when you run into to kill one of these big war chiefs, and there's 3 captains around him or something.
Yes.
Yeah, so do your homework, get in there and do it. So, number 4, what have you got down?
Number 4 for me is, it's not exclusive to this year, but it was remade for this year, and that's GTA 5 on PS4.
Yep. What is it about GTA 5, specifically on PS4, that gets it this high up in your list?
The first person. I thought it was going to be just a dodgy version, but it's immaculate. The guns look great, scopes look great, everything's great.
So it kind of puts you more in control of the game and what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like a totally different game. Like, getting hit by a car in first person's scary as shit compared to third person, so...
Yeah, you kind of just sit there and watch them flip up in the air and go around and all that kind of stuff. So I think that this here is added to the controversy as well. This first person aspect added to a bit to the controversy behind GTA 5, where it puts you more in close proximity with the violence that you're taking. Yes. So for us, we love it. We think it's fantastic. It's not a kid's game. It's never been a kid's game, and I've never been a big fan of the GTA 5 GTA games at all. But I can see why people love them. And anything else about this? There's been a bit of in our lowlights for this year talking about the online experience. what were your thoughts on that with the remaster?
Mine were good because of the sheer fact of I got it on release on the old consoles and the online did not work for a couple of weeks for me nearly. So it was good.
And you kind of went fuck it after a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I got sick of it, and then the heist promises that never came through, which I'm not sure if they have yet. They were supposed to be here, but I still haven't seen them. But no, just getting it, then putting it in, and straight away being able to get in the multiplayer was first for a while for a few games really. So that was good.
Awesome. Anything else on GTA 5?
No, that covers GTA 5.
Okay, so what do we got next? Number 3.
Number 3 is Unity on PS4, Assassin's Creed. There's a lot of issues around it, bugginess and stuff. I have got all the bugs, but I have quite enjoyed playing it.
So you've actually finished Unity, haven't you?
No, I haven't finished it yet. No.
Okay.
I've only done probably the first few sequences, not heaps. I've been mainly just running around and unlocking things.
Yep, playing it backwards, doing the collectibles and all that kind of stuff.
That's right, yeah. I want to try and get a platinum one day. I haven't got anything yet, platinum, so I'm going to get that done. But, yeah, it's just, and the online is actually really good. I didn't think it would be, but...
It was pretty awesome. We were having a few issues, Luke and I, with just seeing a little diamond running around the screen, so I couldn't actually get his... character to pop up in my game, but when we stuffed around a little bit and he joined mine and all that kind of stuff, and it was a bit better then. And yeah, it's really awesome because you can get a couple of guys in and kind of synchronize your attack, which is a big plus, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't done that bit yet. That'd be good. But no, I was expecting it to be one of the ones where you sort of can't leave too far from your friends. But yeah, it was if that's possible. I haven't had that issue yet because I've been pretty far away from people when I've been playing. So,
overall, like, I've so wanted to love this game. French Revolution is once again subject matter. I enjoy that whole period in history, and I think it's very good. Getting past the bugs and like the people's faces not working was a big one. Just falling randomly into just the abyss.
Yeah.
Really annoying me there for a while. But take that away, the city's beautiful.
It is, yeah.
The draw distance is immaculate. The textures, the lighting system behind the game, absolutely beautiful. I think that Unity, if they took the time to polish it that little bit more, it'd be up there with the game of the year.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
But once again, I say this again, is that it could have done with a delay, but we would have bitched about it if it didn't have a delay. We would have bitched if it was delayed, and we're bitching now because it's not working, it's broken. That will be fixed very soon, though, so there is a patch coming up very shortly that should fix most of the bugs that are left in it, so... Yeah.
Great. Another thing that they did that made it really good for me was the running down buildings instead of just jumping to death.
Yes, yeah.
That's great.
That's what kind of threw me off a little bit, because I got Assassin's Creed Rogue as well, which is another fantastic game. And there's no controlled descent in it on last gen. So going from controlled descent in Unity and then jumping onto Rogue and it not working, and you do fall off quite a lot of things. So there is that issue there. But no, that's a great little feature as well.
Sure is.
Okay,
Alrighty.
so we'll go on to number 2 now, and this is quite an unusual one you've got here, and it's your number 2.
Yep, my number 2 is Arma 3 for PC. Its full release was this year. It's been out for a while, but it's like a pre-purchase sort of deal. But this year it came out full with all the Zeus add-ons, helicopter add-ons just come out and stuff like that. It's one of my favourite games because it's very moddable. Like, I've got the Australian Special Forces in there. I play with a squad of guys for that. You can basically, you've got I think it's 20 kilometre square map, one of them, the smaller one. And you can, do whatever you want. You can set out patrols of enemies, planes, choppers, anything like that.
So what is it? What is Arma? I don't fully understand what it is. Is it a like a mission-based game, or is it a multiplayer, 100% multiplayer kind of thing, or what is it?
It's a simulator basically. So think about Flight Simulator. You fly planes. In Arma, it's a military simulator. You do anything to do with the army. You can fight. You can just do chopper piloting. You can do anything. Anything you want to do, you can just do it. So say you've got a couple mates and you think, oh, let's do a mission where we've got to kill a special target, get to a drop zone, and then get picked up by a chopper. You just make that in the mission editor, and you just go with your mates. You go and kill your target, and then you'll get prompted to move to the next waypoint, do that, and you're extracted.
Okay, so it's very making maps and all that kind of stuff as well,
Yeah,
or is it
it's very, very in depth. Bit of scripting in it sometimes. But yeah, there is a campaign which is quite good in it. It has also some just little scenarios, but the main gist of it is to get creative and just make your own whole continent missions or just little town-based missions with tanks, jets, you get drones, heaps of stuff.
All right, and so you can publish your ones that you've created?
Yep, it's all through Steam, so it goes through the Steam Workshop, which is quite good. There's a lot of people there that make some maps that are a lot better than the actual campaign that comes with it.
Always the way.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Arma 3 on PC. How much is that retailing for?
I think last time I seen it was about $70.
Okay.
Usual
brand new full release game?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I think it was 20 when I bought it, but I bought it when it had half an island and 0 missions. It was just make your own stuff with a few troops.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, it's definitely worth the money.
Okay, right. So now we're going to go on to your big number one for the year. And what is that? What's your game of the year for 2014?
My game of the year is Far Cry 4 on PS4. It is great. Everything about it is just beautiful.
What is it about, Karat that you're enjoying the most?
The fact that 1 minute you can be in like a sort of jungly area, next minute you're in snow, the unpredictability of the animals. Like, I didn't even know there were rhinos in it until one stomped on my head.
You got to watch out for them.
And I quite like the new the little missions. What are they called? The Akama missions.
Yep.
Where you're just cruising down the street, and then next minute there's some guys in a fight. You help them, then you rank up a bit, or you rescue hostages. It's just
kill the captains of the military.
And the one I've been trying to do, I haven't caught up to them yet, was the convoy. I've been trying to set a trap for that convoy that cruises around, but I always failed.
Yeah, so there's that, and there's also the Pagan's Wrath as well, which head around a fair bit.
Yes.
Have you finished it?
No, I haven't. I'm still doing the same, just going to all the towers first and then doing all the fortresses and stuff.
Fantastic. I'm 2 trophies away now, so hopefully by the time this airs, I will have a platinum trophy for this. This game is fantastic. Absolutely loving it. Just great, as you said, the whole environments and the different types of vehicles and stuff like that. So, yeah,
that gyrocopter is a great addition. I love that.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's it then. What else that we'll add on here is your most anticipated for 2015. What is your most anticipated game?
The Division.
The Division, the Tom Clancy one.
Yep. I love Tom Clancy game, so it looks awesome.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so that was King Snitty there with his top 5 for his games of the year. Thank you very much.
No worries, thank you.
All right, and back to the show again.
And once again, we're back to the show. Thank you very much, Snitty. That was awesome. Now, top 5 is Assassin's Creed Unity made it in there.
Yeah, very interesting.
Controversial. Look, yeah, I'd have to admit, isn't it? Even though I've refused to play it up until this date, I would believe it'd be a good game. It just needs to work properly, that's all.
Yeah. And another interesting one he had in there was Arma 3.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know too much about it, but yeah, it sounds interesting, probably not 100% my cup of tea, but the idea behind it is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was good to hear a bit about it. I didn't, half the things that he was talking about, I didn't realise that was what Arma was. So that was pretty...
Yeah, it just looked like a first-person shooter to me, and that's why I was never interested in it. I didn't understand the full scope of what the game actually was, and with him explaining it to me, I think that it would be something that would interest me, probably a Steam sale, maybe. But, not paying $80 for it, obviously. But
I bought Arma 2, but I never once actually tried to play Arma 2. I only got it for the DayZ mod.
DayZ,
Yeah. So I don't know what any of it was about. All right, well, shall we move on to the last one? Now we'll hear from Nikos. He's going to tell us about his highlights in 2014.
All right, we are back again. We've got Nico with us, and we're going to go through this year's highlights in gaming. So just a bit of an overall highlights of what's been happening in 2014, and also a couple of personal highlights that Nico has. So I'm going to hand it over to Nico right now. What has been the highlights for you for 2014 in gaming?
I suppose the biggest highlights would be, well, I started off with a bang. I built myself a new gaming PC in January, which was nice. Prepared myself for a few PC game sessions, which was good. Dark Souls 2 came out on it, of course, which being a Dark Souls 1 fan, I was absolutely pumped about, of course, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. That was really good, and it was cool to see it come to next gen.
What would have made it better for... Why would it be PC that you chose to play this on? Was that what you played the original on, or...?
Well, no, the original I actually played on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had this drive to start getting a few more games on PC, because I started off as a PC gamer when I was young, just with some of the old rubbish sort of games, but, I didn't have...
Hey, they are not old rubbish games like Doom and Quake, and is that what we're talking about here?
No. More like things like Scorched Earth when I was really young. And you remember that little tanks? It was a little 2D side thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Things like that. And I just had a real drive to get back into PC gaming, which was cool. And of course, following Dark Souls 2, picked up Inquisition on the PC, which is brilliant. And that's
what kind
definitely.
Of specs does that run at?
I run it pretty well. You could just put it, say, one step down from the highest you can set it at, and it probably picks up. I get about between 70 and 80 frames a second at 1080p.
Yes, we can only dream about that on the consoles, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it costs a lot of money to do that. So
yeah.
You got your $3,000 to $4,000 versus that's just for a tower versus your $500-600 for a console. So yeah.
All right. So what do we got next? So we've got the gaming PC. What else has come up high on the list for 2014?
Shadow of Mordor is definitely. I think, to be honest, I have to put it up there on the number one spot for the year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Number one game of the year.
Yeah, it's for me anyway. It's the first game in quite some time that actually, to be honest, didn't know much about it to start with, and
it kind of snuck up on us, didn't it?
Yeah, I bought it at the last minute. I wasn't going to get it, and I was in EB Games having a chat, and I was like, go on then. Got home, didn't put it down for about 6 days, finished it, and away you go.
Yeah. Well, I actually picked it up not long ago in the Black Friday sales on the PS4 because it was $140 with all the DLC and everything, and they had it on sale for $62, and I'm like, you know what, I can't pass that up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. I'm a big fan of subject matter for Lord of the Rings. It's great to see like Gollum and all that kind of stuff in the game, and it's just, I've been craving a game like this, which is Lord of the Rings, that isn't exactly set in the time of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit. It's got its own separate storyline, but it really does it justice. It's fantastic. It's very high up on my list.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like it was pushed out of the Play-Doh factory like some of the other extra add-ons, like the Game of Thrones game that came out last year sometime.
Yes.
Just some of those weak attempts, and that was really, really good. And being somewhat of a mashup of, let's be honest, Assassin's Creed versus, Lord of the Rings, it was pretty cool. A lot of fun.
It's what it had to be, though. It's for it to... Well, the ranges and all that kind of stuff in the Lord of the Rings are typically quite agile but still big, beefy brawlers as well. And I think the way that they portrayed the actual main character in it was fantastic. So
yeah, and it was nice and dark as well, which is pretty cool. it wasn't all kiddie, which I kind of feel like
it was actually set in actually Mordor, not in Middle Earth as such, but actually right inside Mordor near Mount Doom and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So what do we got next with the highlights? We're chatting just before that Advanced Warfare brought a new element in this year.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I wouldn't call it an element because I think a lot of people might say that I'd be referring to the exosuits, and I don't think the exosuits are exactly what I'd class as a new element that has made the game be revitalized. I think it's just the whole vibe of the game itself. Like, everything about it just seems much more refined. The combat is just a little bit more accurate. It's not as spawn die, if you will, as some of the old ones were, and I used to have a real drama with that.
Yes. That after a certain amount of time, everybody in multiplayer knew exactly where you were going to spawn, and they'd be camping just around the corner from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really did not like that at all. Even the story was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I'm a pretty big campaign guy. And, played through it and it was not bad. I definitely have probably nothing bad to say about it. But the multiplayer has just been awesome, like getting on with Red and all the boys and going nuts. And the Clan Wars was really cool as well. You just have a weekend to smash it out and put in a bit of effort there.
Still to this day, I have not played one game of multiplayer on it yet.
You'll get that.
I've played a couple of games of the survival. But, have not played the multiplayer. It's kind of one of those things that you can't swim, you stay out of the water. I know I'm shit at these games, so I don't even bother trying. I loved the campaign on it. Fantastic. And, I've said it numerous times. It was everything that Black Ops 2 should have been.
Yeah, you're probably right. I have heard you say that. And you're right.
It was great. It had a great feel to it. I loved the campaign in it. There was awesome moments in it. The exosuits added that little bit extra to it, and it was really cool. But then again, I love the campaigns in Call of Duty. Everybody says it's rehashed shit every year. Of course, it's rehashed shit every year. What you got to do is you got to go in, you got to shoot the enemy, kill a bad guy.
Yeah. That's right, and I mean,
what else are you going to do in a war game?
Yeah, as long as they can still make me feel a little bit of excitement when I'm doing a mission with a bunch of dudes or something.
Yeah, and it's got to have that little bit of challenge to it as well, which is good, and plus you've got your little bit of intel and stuff that you got to try and get. But yeah, Advanced Warfare, absolutely fantastic. Looked beautiful on next gen. I was quite impressed with it.
Did really well. I've got a bit of a note here on Outlast. I hadn't heard anything about it. I had a friend that said, hey, check this out. We should, sort of crack a beer and do a night session in the dark room with the horror game going on. So we did a bit of that, and I think it took us about, I don't know, we did it slowly. It took us about 4 or 5 hours.
To complete?
It was maybe 3 a.m. or something, and all the lights off and the 60-inch hooked into the computer, got the real mood going on. So it was really cool actually, the story and the way it played out and hiding in the lockers and all that sort of stuff, running away from the crazy dudes. And...
Yeah, I think I got it about probably up to the front door, just as you go through the big doors and all that kind of stuff. Right at the front, at the start, you go through the big cast iron gate doors and that. Yep. And I'm kind of like, I don't think I want to be playing this.
Yeah,
once again, I think I'm going to have to change my undies. So, I'm not going to do it, especially with, I would have had to play it at night after my daughter had gone to sleep, probably with the headset on, and,
Yeah, and anyone could have snuck up behind you.
Yes.
Yes. I know how you feel. I played Doom 3 in the dark a lot, so that was, probably, as a younger person, prepared me for this.
Yes, no, I'm not good with scary games. I think I played about the first 3 levels of Alien Isolation this year that came out as well, and I was like, nope, sorry. I think I saw the Alien twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Outlast, fantastic. So that was on PC as well?
Yeah.
So there's a good mix of the horror, survival horror genre and all that kind of stuff. We had a couple more come out like that this year. As we said, there was Alien Isolation and also The Evil Within, which is highly regarded. Did you play that at all?
I haven't had a chance yet. I've probably got about 6 games I need to play. And that's one of them. Yeah.
I've got about 60. My pile of shame is horrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I took a 0 off.
Yeah.
Just to not look bad.
Okay, so what else have we got here? This year in the highlights, another game came out that was fantastic. South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I didn't see. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of the show, but I've definitely watched my fair share of it. It's kind of like The Simpsons and Family Guy, where I just kind of, when it's on, I'll watch it, or if I feel like watching it, I'll download an episode or go rent a DVD or something.
You'd purchase one and download it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm on fibre here, so it's quicker to do that than to go to the store.
Yep.
Save on fuel as well. But it was a lot of fun. I didn't expect it to be probably as good as it was, just having played like the old one on Nintendo 64 and other things here and there about it. But it turned out really cool, really funny, really dirty. So it definitely kept with the South Park theme.
It is absolutely filthy. Some of the jokes and some of the levels where you've got to dodge your father's testicles or crawl up the slave's ass or... it is a filthy game. It's got typical South Park jokes, and I've had discussions with Luke about this, about how much I love this game and how awesome it is. And his response to that was, if it wasn't South Park, would it be any good?
Yeah, it's a fair call.
And I'm like, no, it wouldn't. But I think that South Park, in its essence, has created its own game, added in its own, mashed a whole heap of different genres together to get that. There's the side-scrolling, there's the puzzles, there's even the friggin' 8-bit section when you're up in friggin' Canada.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, see, it didn't have to be 1080p or 60 frames or...
It didn't have to be 3D anything. Characters. Because they done previous South Park games where they actually made 3D models of the characters, and they were running around a 3D world.
Yeah, it takes the feel of South Park away from it, I think.
Totally gone. But this year, it is just like watching an episode of South Park, and every screen, every scene that you go into, there's something that reminds you from the series. You'll walk in and the TV will be playing, and you can hear the TV, and it's on the TV is Asses of Fire, which is the Terrence of Phillip movie.
Yeah.
Or you go into Stan's bedroom and you go to open up the closet, and the closet slams back and going, "I'm never coming out of here," which is Tom Cruise hiding in the closet from the Scientology episode.
Yep.
You open up Cartman's and there's like the Weight Gain 4000 and Awesome-O Robot and all that kind of stuff. And Luke will hate me if I don't mention this, because this is probably the famous, his favourite part of the game is that you could poop in it.
Oh yeah.
And you'd go into everybody's house and you'd do a poop in their toilet. So yeah, he probably only got about half an hour into the game before he gave up on it, but he said he enjoyed that you could poop in it. So
he likes the simple things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is there anything else that we need to cover for our highlights? And
there was a few little things. Well, I got to mention Destiny, because it was such a big hype up about it. A lot of people really got invested in it. I'm not going to go into anything else about it, but I just think it's a massive highlight of the year, just in the sense that the amount of money they spent on it, the trailers. They even had a Led Zeppelin song in the trailer, which, as anyone who's a Led Zeppelin fan might know, is a big deal, being able to use their songs in any form of media. There's probably only 3 times, I think, that I can recall one of their songs being used. So it's a pretty big deal, and it was massive.
Yeah, and they also got Paul McCartney as well, but it's absolutely terrible. If you haven't seen it, check out the film clip.
Yeah, I have. It's bad.
Yeah. But you were a Beatle, Paul. What are you doing?
Yeah, but I got to mention that because it was huge. And look, I still enjoy it. It's great. The expansion just came out, and I'm still into it. I'm obsessed, of course. Just can't stop playing. So it's been pretty cool for the year. I do want to talk about Wii U as well. Mario Kart 8. Big. The reason I bought one, basically, decided, I'll go buy one. And it was fantastic. It was brilliant. Loved it. It looks fantastic. It plays really well.
So all it is these new Mario Karts that come out, they're not really adding much to it, are they? They're just beefing up the graphics, making it a little bit prettier and a couple of new tracks, yeah?
Yeah, pretty well. But like I had the first Wii with Mario. I didn't buy Mario Kart on it because I thought to myself, nah, stuff it. And I played it at a friend's place. Didn't do anything for me. But when I played it on the Wii U at a friend's place, I just thought, nah, this is good. I'm going to get it. So I bought it, and yeah.
That's that little bit crisper, you know, a little bit HD about it. Nothing.
Yeah.
The Wii was very...
It didn't feel like I was still playing a GameCube.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I got that, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is cool to play a Donkey Kong game again. And, in preparation for... Well, I mean, this year, obviously, we had the announcement of the release of a proper new Zelda game, I like to call it, and a Star Fox game. So,
yeah.
Good year for the Wii, and next year should only get better.
All right, so we'll leave it up here. I think we've got it already that Shadow of Mordor was your number one for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what's most anticipated for next year?
Oh,
I'm putting you right on the spot here.
I gotta open up the nostalgia cupboard and say Zelda on the Wii U.
Zelda.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely, without a doubt. I don't care about all this controller moving business or whatever. I just care that it's going to be an open world. It's nice in 3D. The animation looks cool. You know, Link's back. Epona's there. It looks like every little bit we've seen so far looks like Ocarina of Time / Majora's Mask. So it's definitely the one I'll be getting amongst as soon as it comes out.
Awesome. So we got anything else? The last little words for your highlights, or?
And I think that's about it for my year. I'm pretty sure.
It's been a massive year in gaming. Absolutely massive. It's starting to feel a lot like current gen now. It's got, you know, the big games that have come out on the PlayStation and the PS4 and Xbox One and stuff like that, and PC just along the line. A lot of developers are starting to go, you know what, we're going to throw some at PC as well. So it's been a great year. All right, we're going to leave it there. So there's our highlights for the year. Thank you very much, Nico.
No worries at all.
All right, well that's it. That's the word from the Aussie Gamers Express admin staff. Once again, I know I have thanked them. I can't thank them enough for being part of this show. They gave us some good insights and some good personalised experiences with their year being 2014 with their own, whether it be consoles or PC. So that was pretty cool. That I guess that only leaves us to talk about our top 10 games of the year all the way down to our number one.
Just the one highlight I should emphasise on is the great team you guys have put together. That's the highlight.
Yeah, mate, that's a good thing to say. I agree with that. Mate, it's been an awesome 2014 for Aussie Gamers Express. We have expanded to, what are we, 10 admins strong now?
Yep.
9 or 10, whatever it is. And they're putting in awesome efforts. And like there's a couple of us that have been on board for quite a while now, like you, Sean and Red. And
I came in at 77 likes, baby.
I'm glad you remember that. That means it's a significant thing for you.
It is a very significant thing to me. The thing is, we've grown massive over this last year, up to just about 2,200 likes. So, just looking at it now, somebody's just liked the page, and we've just hit 2,200 likes. So.
Awesome, yeah, because we've been 2,199 for a while, for like a day.
Yeah.
All right, Red, you're on the spot. How many likes have you joined?
About 1039.
I like that because I have no way of confirming that, and you were confident in how you said it, so I'm just going to believe you. Do you know how many likes were on it when I joined?
0.
One.
Like
And it was me.
Luke, 1.
That's exactly right. It's not Luke 2, baby.
It's like 1.
That's right. But look, I just want to reiterate again that we've met some fantastic people, whether it be the admin staff or just some of the people that have been listening to us through the year and playing games with us on the consoles and on the PCs. thank you to all you guys. I appreciate your support. Thank you to everyone that sends in their answers for What's That Sound. There's been heaps of games. I've lost track of how many games I've given away. So many games, because I haven't really stuck to the rule of 1 or 2 games per week. Sometimes I've given everybody that has sent in the correct answer. I've even given games away to people that sent in the wrong answer. But that's just a thank you to say to people, look, I know you listen to the show because you've answered the question that's in it and it's at the end of the show and things like that. So I just can't help but give them something to say thank you. So good on you guys. I appreciate everybody that listens to the show, and thank you to everybody on the page. That's all I
think you've got sappy enough. Let's get into this top 10.
I think I agree with that. All right. Yeah. Who wants to give us their first number 10?
I'll go through because I'm not. I don't really have like the 6 to 10 in any specific order because I kept on changing it like 30,000 times today. But my top 10's a PC game, so I got Among the Sleep.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it was a game I was waiting for ages, and the people over at Krillbite Studios were nice enough to give us a copy of it, and amazing. I just thought it was great.
What I liked about that, I did consider it for my top 10, but it didn't make it. The gameplay for me was lacking, but the overall arcing story,
yep,
that was like, it's really hard to explain, but it was a bit touching and a bit unsettling.
Yeah, and the whole idea, we had like massive talks about it and what it actually was and what it actually meant, and yeah. So it was quite interesting, whether it was actually through the eyes of the child. Was it a dream of the child? Was it what the child perceived? Or yeah, so quite interesting. If you've got a chance to get your hands on it, I highly recommend it, Among the Sleep. So.
Yeah, it's probably recommended to those who like a nice short indie game with a pretty in-depth story. Well, not in-depth, but it has a lot of meaning to it.
Yeah.
All right, Red. What's your number 10?
Worms.
Battleground. Yeah, yes. That's awesome. Good choice.
That's created a lot of pastimes, if you will. A lot of fun over the time. Then we're in a high tense situation. It's like, oh, fuck this. Let's just put some worms on and try and blow each other up. You know. That's
what Worms was for us, wasn't it? We might be playing a game that got us really frustrated, and we would mellow out with a game of Worms. And with Worms, I won't say all the time, because I know I probably did get frustrated sometimes when I was getting my ass kicked, but most of the times, even when you fail, it's fun.
You laugh, yeah.
And as I've described it probably many a times, I describe that game as a game of accidental successes and massive fuck-ups. That's the game. If you win, it's because you accidentally killed the other team and won, and the opposite to that is you'd probably just blow yourself up.
I remember Worms right from the start, though, when they first released it, like playing it on the old 486 and that, and it was just fantastic.
I never played it.
I did on the 486 as well.
Yeah.
And then probably the best Worms of all would be Worms Armageddon.
Was that the 3D one?
Yeah, the first, pretty much the first 3D one.
All right, well, that's enough talking about that because it's making me want to play that, but I've got too many other things to play. My number 10, Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it too high on the list or shouldn't be on the list?
Well, shouldn't be on the list. You asked
really?
Yeah. I got a bat in my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a fair call. But look, with Watch Dogs, I enjoyed it. I anticipated it and I enjoyed it. For me, there was no real issues with it. I played through the story and it was a good story. It didn't blow me away, but I enjoyed the mechanics. I enjoyed the mobile phone thing how you could hack into stuff. I played it enough to get the Platinum Trophy in it, even though that drinking game drove me insane, and I thought that probably left a sour taste more than anything, but then after they nerfed it, happy days. So that's if I platinum a game, I probably should find it hard to put it onto a top 10 list for my game of the year, because if I'm spending that much time playing it, it's got to have done something right.
Yeah, so you've got to be playing it for a reason.
Yeah, and I did, and I enjoyed it. And even though we didn't do it all that much when we did do it when it first came out, that was fun just running amok. Even when you troll, destroyed my car, it was fun. I couldn't leave it off. So yeah, that was my number 10. All right, Sean, give us your number 9.
My number 9 is Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Okay.
Oh, there's a grumble there as well.
Oh!
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's wasn't your typical Wolfenstein, but it was what you were expecting.
It had your typical Wolfenstein in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get that far?
Yeah,
Well,
up in the... Yeah.
Snap.
And, no, just the cool things like the mechanical dogs and the whole story behind it. And, you had to go into Berlin and try and retake the city, and it just looked cool.
Did it bother you that the people that made Wolfenstein stole the bad person out of the game from Infamous Second Son?
Everything with the super concrete.
Sucker Punch called and want their antagonist back.
Yes.
That's what I always thought of when I saw the baddie in that. But anyway. Alright, Red, you're number 9.
Sniper 3. Oh, Sniper Elite 3.
Sniper Elite 3. Very good choice to make a top 10. That's a fun game to play. Even in co-op, that was sick.
Yeah.
And something that is high on my radar these days and makes a game even more impressive to me, the co-op worked.
Yeah.
We didn't have any connectivity issues, did we?
No, not at all.
Yeah, no. The multiplayer was good as well. And,
I put a lot of time into that.
Yeah, and also the co-op. That was a good game. Very good choice there. All right, my number 9. Hitting up with the good old Ninty. Mario Kart 8.
I forgot that was even a game.
Yeah, see, Mario Kart 8 made my top 10 because even though I don't talk about it and I don't play it all the time, it's something that my daughter loves playing, and I love playing it with her. And I've played it many times with Reprimir and his older brother and his girlfriend and my wife. We all play it. It's like 4-player split screen, and we all take turns because there's too many of us. And we all have a massive laugh. We'll all be racing. We're having a good time. There's the battle arena one where you drive around with the balloons on your back and stuff like that. And it's just fun, good, clean fun, which is good for the whole family. And it just works so good. It's smooth. It's 60 frames. It's 1080p. It's Nintendo. It's Mario. It's all of the above. It ticks all the boxes.
Blue Turtle Shells.
Then we can put out 1080p and 60 frames in the PS4, can't you? And it's got a better driving simulator than the PS4 does.
It does. That's a sad thing. Yeah, so that's my number 9. All right, Sean, give us your number 8.
My number 8 will be Infamous Second Son.
Okay.
Platinum, ding ding.
There you go. So it should be on the list if you ask me.
Yeah, so the character in it, Delson, we had a few arguments about the douchiness of him and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. What I enjoyed most about it was the different characters, like Fetch and I can't even remember their names now. They must have been really important. So the abilities list, to smoke, the TV and all that kind of stuff. That you learn all the way through, and you had a choice of being able to change your powers to do certain different parts of the game. The overall size of the city was pretty cool and awesome, and you could climb up to the side of things and fly across the top of the city, and yeah, just awesome. The story was great. I really enjoyed it, and enough to actually finish it once and then go back and finish it a second time, going good and going bad. So, yeah, awesome.
Excellent. All right, Red, what's your number 8?
Wolfenstein, mate.
Okay, yep. Very good. So that's made 2 lists. So at up until this point, anyway. Let's go. What do we need? Mine, don't we? Yes.
Yep.
Oh, Meep's good. My number 8 is Hearthstone.
Oh, okay.
Hearthstone made my list because I was so against Hearthstone before it came out. I was like, I don't like World of Warcraft. I don't like card games. This is not something. There was even podcasts where I said, no, not interested. Not even going to try it. And then I said, oh, look, I'll download it. And I downloaded it on my iPad and I left it and didn't touch it. And then the reason why I picked it up is that I was taking a drive out to Reprimir's place, which is 5 hours from Sydney. And it was on my iPad. And I thought, I'll give it a go. And I didn't stop playing it. I chewed the battery down so much that the battery on my iPad went flat. And I was annoyed because I still wanted to keep playing it. It's just really simple to learn. Obviously, it's one of those hard to master games as well, because I do get my ass kicked a fair bit. And saying something when you, Sean, can kick my ass at a game. But
still undefeated.
But the thing is, it's really, really fun to play. And it's just a simple free-to-play game, which I think the free-to-play, I've never seen free-to-play done so well. Because you really can...
You had a full option of cards, and you could build a deck with free-to-play that could rival decks that were paid.
You could play that game as much as you want without spending a cent. If you want to go the extra step and pay for some decks, which I did because I enjoyed it enough that I paid for a few decks, for a few packs, I should say. And look, that's fine. Look, it wouldn't have made it any less an experience if I didn't. It's just that I wanted to. So that's why that made my top 10. All right, Sean, what's your number 7?
My number 7, Assassin's Creed Rogue. So I've put about 6 hours into this, and it's what I expected. If that makes sense, and for it to be enough to reach a top 10 list. It's set between Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's Black Flag in the North Atlantic. It takes everything from the Assassin's Creed games and puts it into the new one. You go from the memories back into Abstergo, like you did in Black Flag, like you've done in Assassin's Creed 3 and that, and I'm just enjoying it. Just really enjoying the story. It's not the typical Assassin's Creed where you're just an assassin. You get betrayed and you turn to become a Templar, and the whole story of it being flipped on its head. So it's not just, it is an Assassin's Creed game, but it's not just another Assassin's Creed game.
It's an Assassin's Creed game that was true to the formula, and it worked, I think is what you're trying to say. And look, it is a good game, but there's one thing that I want Ubisoft to take on board. Can we fix those Abstergo sections of the game? Can we go back to the original ones where you were an actual character instead of the first person shit? Can we have the character back and have a little bit more gameplay in that area? Because, geez, they're boring.
Yeah, go from computer to computer, hacking in and getting all the different...
Look, no, I don't like that. But anyway, that's just my complaint. Right, Red.
Yes.
What's your number 7, champion?
First Light.
Oh, yeah?
Second Son's infamous First Light.
Are you allowed to do that? Is that within the rules?
It's on its own disc.
That's... Yeah, I think
I think it's justified.
I think so.
It is
because it's a standalone.
Yeah. It gives everything. It gives you everything that you want, with every part of diversity of gameplay that Second Son delivered.
I'm just getting word from upstairs, just the adjudicators, and they're going to allow it. Okay, so
for Picky. The diversity of the gameplay that we experienced in Second Son, this was just rammed down your throat at 100 miles an hour, and it left me feeling
That was the
That's what
second
she
thing that
said.
was rammed down your throat.
Oh, you know what I mean? It was just bang, 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 bang. And then... Oh.
That sounds like a professional.
And then it was over. I smashed it in a night.
Yes.
I think as far as a video game goes and an experience, that delivered swiftly, and it chimed in very nicely with Second Son. But I think as a standalone, that was just the perfect game to sit down, install, and just spend 8 hours on.
Awesome.
And it was good. It was a story that you wanted to hear as well.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
I just want them to do it now for every one of them.
Yeah,
The backstory behind them all, and I will pay. I'll pay the money to get this.
yeah, it's good. It's an opportunity for them, so hopefully they do something like that. All right, my number 7, Sunset Overdrive.
Yes.
The game that I can only describe as super fun. Now, this game went from a 10 for me down to a 2 when I played it at the EV Games Expo. I thought it was absolute rubbish.
I have my copy sitting under the Christmas tree at the moment.
Then I finally got an Xbox One and played it on a console that hadn't been running for 20 hours straight in a hot environment, and the game ran perfectly. A game that has so much going on the screen is 1080p. Can't remember if it was 60 frames. I think it was.
It nearly have to be.
So fluent and so much fun and so much personality. It was a brilliant game. It had to make my top 10. The only thing I regret is not being able to go back and 100% it, because so many games released shortly after I'd played it. So I haven't had that opportunity, but it will be something that I will keep for a long time and will eventually go back and play it. Yeah, Sunset Overdrive, super fun.
I can't wait to get onto this and play some multiplayer. Does it have co-op or just...
It's like not mission-based co-op, but the multiplayer is co-op in the point where we were both attacking hordes of shit.
Yeah, awesome.
Of the ODs, as they're called.
Yes,
All right.
that drink overcharge.
Yeah, that's right. Not
See, I got it right. Yeah.
Fizz the company. That's right. See, that's why it's good that I keep bugging you about that shit, because you learn.
Yes.
Red Dong.
Red Dong. That was Snitty Red Dong that week.
There you go. Shitty Red Dong.
I'll give you some Red Dong.
Number 6.
Yeah, go, Sean.
My number 6 is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Oh, Call of Duty made a top 10 list. Woo!
Yes. And that is without playing a second of multiplayer.
For some people, that's what it's all about, and for some people, that's the story.
Yes. I thought the story was awesome. It was Call of Duty. That's what I wanted to see. I got a hold of a gun. I had to get a bad guy, and I had to kill him. And that was it. And it was awesome.
And it looked good doing it.
It looked good.
And
Kevin Spacey. Wow. Performance not as good as Trey Parker, apparently.
I've got my man crush on Troy Baker.
Yes, he was pretty good in it. His hair was a bit weird, though. I don't know.
I thought
Little too manicured for a badass soldier.
He's a pretty guy. You can't help pretty.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I just don't believe that he's come in straight off the battleground and the first thing he's going to do is decide and gone, you know what, I'm going to do my hair.
His hair wasn't done. It was just natural beauty.
All right, let's move on from the grooming. The grooming of soldiers.
Yes. Red.
Last of Us remastered in at my number 6.
Oh, hang on, we're going to have to go upstairs again.
Oh, jeez, Red.
Game of the Year for 2014.
My games of the year.
Yeah, but... Hang on.
You played on last gen?
Who did what?
You did.
Who?
All right. I got a substitute.
Wait, hang on. I'm getting word from upstairs again. They're saying it's a free world. Red can have whatever game the fuck he wants, even if he looks like an idiot because he's done it wrong.
All right.
Well, the year before it wasn't called remastered.
Yeah,
And it didn't have all the DLC bundled in it either.
It did for me because I bought it. Yeah.
Well, I'm basing a lot of my list on, as with Worms and everything and Sniper and all that, the amount of enjoyment I've had playing it for extended period of times.
Which is why I don't have a problem with it. I mean, the people upstairs don't have a problem with it. It looked good. Fuck, it looked fantastic.
It looks pretty. Yeah.
But Joel's hair was too well done.
For a man in the apocalypse, I tell you.
Yeah, no, it just delivered again, and it was fresh. Even though it should be stale, the amount of time I spent on it on the PS3, it was fresh again. And it's like with Watch Dogs and Wolfenstein. I think we were just a touch starved for variety in the first 6 months, so it's probably why I spent so much time on it. But once again, the gelling of the teamwork, the banter, the fun, the rigging. We exploit a game. If it's exploitable, we'll do it. We just watch the cameras and give heads up. I just thought it was a great bonding experience. Like, that's where we met Weeksy. Oh, fuck, I met Weeksy a long time ago, but I think that's when Weeksy started playing some games with us and whatnot like that. And I just think it was a morale builder, and it was brutal.
Did you cry in it?
No, I don't cry.
Last of Us.
Yes.
I did the first time I played it, not the second.
Yeah, well, that was it. Yeah, the first time I played it, I did.
I blubbered like a bitch, but that hit home for me, and I suppose it's the same for you. We've got daughters.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But when Sarah dies at the beginning, my God, tears were flowing.
Yes. My wife came home just after that happens, and I'm sitting there, and I've got the tears in my eyes. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing? This stupid game." I said, I had to restart it to show her.
Oh, Sean, I'm going to have to teach you a thing or two. When your missus got home and saw you crying, that's where you go, I just started playing this game because it was becoming too much for me. I was looking at our wedding and the photos are so beautiful. You were so amazing on that day.
Yes. I could have tried to cover it up like a man. I come in and I had the tissues with me. She goes, "What are you doing?" "Masturbating."
Definitely wasn't crying.
I was doing a man thing.
Yeah. See that stain on the floor? No, that's not drink. I didn't spill my drink. Yeah, you know what that is. Before that goes too far down the wrong path, I shall tell you my number 6. Alright, we don't have to discuss this one too much, as we've already had it, but my number 6 was Infamous Second Son. Just to further my love for Troy Baker. So yeah, that was my number 6. Sean, we're into the top 5.
Top 5.
5. Bust into top 5, Sean.
Alright, Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, Shadow of Mordor.
Yes.
Less light of less door.
What?
That's the sequel. That's the complete opposite.
Yes. So
try and think about that too much. It was the dumbest thing I could have said. Just keep going.
It's the subject matter. It's about time they brought out a Lord of the Rings game that was full of the lore, that looked fantastic, had great gameplay. It's just awesome the way that it looks, the way the combat is, the brutal executions and stuff in it. It's just, really enjoying it.
Cool. With that, for me, it wasn't necessarily the subject matter. I would describe a game like Stick of Truth. That for you was all subject matter, as we've discussed. And I do not like the South Park at all, so I never got into it. I didn't like it. But I don't like Lord of the Rings either. I've never watched the movies and I've got no interest in them whatsoever, and I still to this day can't stand hobbits. But with Shadow of Mordor, it didn't need that. It didn't matter. Like, the game was fun. And they didn't have hobbits, so it was okay. So yeah, good call on that. That was your number 5.
And I'll just add in here as well the captain system, with the war chiefs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we had to, awesome.
Never been done before. Good on them. I hope the games copy it. Red.
EA's UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship game, is my number 5.
Right.
I've played the 2 EA predecessors. The one, and I played the other UFC 2012 and 2013.
Yeah.
And if you break it down to its core essentials, mixed martial arts is very technical. And I think this was the first one to really rise up and make it more technical on the controller, which is, first off, it's a bit daunting. But when you're really thinking of weight distribution and left to left to side of your body, right to right side of your body, I think it all comes together really, really nicely. I really do. It holds once a week. There's an EA Cup online championship that you can vie for. You can work your way through the ranks in online, and there's also a really, really good career mode that integrates. Like, it doesn't give you like 4 hours of tutorial going, right, this is how to grapple, this is how to do Thai, this is how to wrestle and everything like that. It integrates nicely. It's got a lot of film clips of all the actual fighters encouraging you, and they're actually commenting on something that you've done in your previous fight. So fair to say there's probably a lot of takes being had, and I just think it was a very well-delivered game for something that seems repetitive. The amount of different situations you find yourself in that game, and yeah, it really topped it off. It was really brutal.
Nice. I'm actually excited to give that a go, because that's actually been slated for the next EA Access free game.
Oh, grab it, mate. It's cool, even if you just want to stand up and slap with the heavy modifier and the left-right punches and kicks without going down to the ground and doing too much down there. Yeah, just get in there and go fucking hellbent.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've got a yearly membership of EA Access, so if that's going to be free on that, I'll definitely be getting it.
Nothing to lose.
Awesome. All right, my number 5 is a game that's already been mentioned, Sniper Elite 3. That made it to my top 5 because of the amount of time that I put into that game, the enjoyment that I had with the co-op and the multiplayer, as we discussed earlier. That's why it was down that far in the list as my top 5. So I won't go over that again. But awesome game.
That's Sean's number 1. Spoiler alert.
What?
Sniper Elite 3. That's Sean's number 1 game of the year.
Okay, I just clicked as to what you're talking about because he fucking hated it, didn't he? Didn't you get that? Play it and think it was the dumbest thing in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my top 5.
Yeah.
But that's why it's good, this team, because we have such diversity. Like, Red and I play games and you don't.
Yes.
Sorry.
Through the...
Hey, I don't know how much struggle it was to pick 10.
Oh, yeah, it's
I had to add some in there that I hadn't even played and just had to fucking research.
Pretended. This game was fun.
Road is
Road not taken.
Good, so, yeah.
Road not taken. Oh, I forgot about that game. That's shit.
My number 4 is one that's already been mentioned as well. It's Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. Oh yeah, what I had it at number 8. Good stuff. That's probably yours. Probably got higher on the list because you can win.
Yes, I'm still undefeated against you.
We played like 6 games.
Yeah. Hey, I was ready to give up after I beat you the first time and continue as undefeated.
Righto. We don't need to go over that anymore. Red.
My number 4.
Yes.
Still along the lines of repetition. NBA 2K15.
Oh, he loves his sports games.
I do.
Good
'cause
stuff.
I emulate fit people, therefore I do not require physical movement. Scratching the left and scratching the right and stroking the middle.
I look forward to the next sport game that you and I both get into, because, those FIFA days were pretty cool.
Yeah, that didn't make the top 10, but that makes the top 10 of my bucket list.
Yeah, that was 2013 game, technically, anyway, that we were playing.
Yeah. But, just as
You
a
got
quick...
to... Don't worry, you'll get it next year in the top 10 because you actually make imprints in the ground on the pitch.
Yeah. Lovely.
Just to throw a quick throw it into perspective for you guys. PS3, 2K15 has a 4 gig install file. PS4, it has a 57.1 gig install file.
Did you say 4?
4 gig on the PS3, and on the 4, there's 57.
What?
It's the biggest game on my hard drive.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
but it's awesome. It's cool. It's got a storyline, which you wouldn't often couple up with a sports game, and it carries itself. It has multiple modes.
Basketball storyline. I'm guessing you spend a lot of time in a hotel cheating on your wife. Then you get traded to another city for triple the amount of money. And then you go and buy some dogs and put them into a fighting ring. No, that's NFL, that one. That's where the mashups coming in.
Oh, yeah. And then you get in a chase with the police in a Bronco. Oh, no, that's NFL too.
Yeah. Then you beat your porn star wife. No, that's the UFC one.
That's UFC.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all sports stars are criminals anyway. Stay inside, kids. Play your Xbox and PlayStation.
Play video games.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, play good hearty games like GTA 5.
So, Red, are you done with number 4?
Yeah, 2K15, mate. Brilliant game.
Alright, wonderful. My number 4 is Trials Fusion.
Oh, yes.
Seen that coming.
Yes, I didn't even think about that on the list.
Yeah, I've never loved a game that I hated so much.
Yes.
Fuck, do you remember those times, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was just losing my fucking mind, and I refused to stop playing it, and I would even say to myself, right, I'm going to have one more crack at this track, and that's it.
And then 30 tries later.
And then, 30 tries later, I'm still trying it. Oh, my God.
I still play that Dirt Derby game, and if I don't get the first takeoff bit, the first 2 jumps, if that's not perfect, I'm like, no, level's fucked.
No, every single section.
It's a matter of tens of seconds or hundreds of seconds. So,
but it is a gorgeous game, and it runs so well. And even the weird, creepy storyline behind it is really cool too, with all the clones and the dying and all that sort of shit. So it's a really good game.
You were talking about the 2 o'clock sessions, and normally I was there for those.
Yeah.
That was pretty, not early in the piece. We'd played a few games together before for a few months, but this was like, I think we went through a patch. We had a saying, and then there were 2, because we were just up until 3 o'clock every night for like 3 months playing games. And then this was real early in the piece where it's still LewkOne, yes sir, no sir, 3 Facebook, sir, and you'll fucking flip it out. What is this? And I'm like, well, do I put my Dr. Phil hat on, or I turn around and go, and catch a control from Sydney, or what? I'm like, oh, what the fuck do I do? I said, dude, you got to do something you like. Try something new. Fucking try. And then I remember, I fucking got it. I told you it was worth it. And then I get a message from
and then you log in the next day, and I'm like, beat your score. It's like, fuck!
Sean gave me the heads up, and then we get to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock that morning again. Oh, Chuck Fry's in. What the fuck? Yeah.
Oh dear, that's why it's made my top 5 at number 4. Oh, happy days. Oh my god. Alright, Sean, we're getting down to business now. What's your number 3?
Mine is Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls Ultimate Evil Edition.
Oh, only because the upstairs allowed red, you can have that one too.
Yes, but Reaper of Souls didn't come out till this year.
Yeah, but it's an expansion. It's not a game.
It wasn't on PS4.
So?
Let's not argue semantics.
No, it's not semantics. Look up the meaning of semantics and you'll realise that that's used incorrectly. What I'm arguing, it's allowed because it's upstairs, it's all good, but there's a reason why that and The Last of Us isn't on my list, because for me, I wasn't going to use games that are re-released. And paint whatever picture you like, it is a re-release.
Well, then let's argue semantics.
We can if you want to go completely off topic.
End of the word, I come from fucking Tassie.
Semantics means the way in which something is said.
Oh, okay.
It's got nothing to do with this situation. But anyway, go, Sean.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I just spent way too much time on this game. I love it this year.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's why it's there, number 3. I'm still on the way to platinum in this game. It is going to happen. I think I've got about 300 bounties done now on it out of the 500 that need to be done. It's just a massive grind, but loving it.
Should I have gone with that same sort of rules as you're going by? Diablo would most likely be in my number 3 spot too, instead of the one I've got there.
Okay.
But it's not, because I didn't go by that. So, but that's why. Good choice, very good choice. Awesome game. We spent a lot of time on it. We will go back to that one day. Red, what's your number 3?
COD. Call of Duty.
All of them?
Fuck off.
Fuck, you've been breaking the rules. Why not go with every game?
Yeah, Ghosts was fantastic.
That was sarcastic for anyone that didn't know.
Yeah.
Ghosts.
Advanced Warfare. What a way for a new company to come in. I know we've spoken about it, but real quickly, a new company or development team come in, put a fresh spin on something, throw Kevin Spacey's face at it, and just the multiplayer. Look, I can speak on that side of it because I've only done it for 6 days, so many hours, but yeah, wow. I love it. Again, I'm obsessed. There for a little while, that's all I was playing, and I had new release games sitting there, GTA, Far Cry, all these games of this caliber. No, straight back into multiplayer. And I'm proud to say I finished the first 3 levels of the campaign.
It's good to see that you've got it in your top 10 for the complete opposite reason that I do.
Yeah, for the multiplayer, and you're for the single player. Wonderful. And I don't have it at all. Rant. Spoiler alert. Alright, my number 3. We've already discussed it. Shadow of Mordor. Made it up in my top 3. Now, you may remember back when I was playing it, how I raged at it and it gave me the shits.
Just slightly, yeah.
You slightly remember that? And I'm like, well, this game's fucked. I can't fucking get past this part, and blah, blah, blah. I worked out how to get past it.
Share play with Red.
Number 1, share play wasn't out. Number 2, share play still doesn't work. Number 3, I did it myself. I finally got through it with a little bit of red mode. Google that if you don't know what that means.
Patent that.
I should patent that, red mode. Or you should. But anyway, I eventually really loved the game. I loved it before I got stuck. I got a little bit disheartened when I got stuck, and then I realised it was just me because I'm a shit gamer. And I got past it, and I absolutely loved it. And it's, for a game with such subject matter like The Lord of the Rings, something that I don't really like, to make me enjoy it as much as I did, it's got to be a fantastic game. So I was all for it. And plus, press X to kiss wife. All right.
And then she gets stabbed.
Spoiler alert. So many jokes going through my head right now. I don't know which one to say. To save face, I won't say any of them.
Ring.
Perfectly timed rare. I love it. All right. Sean, we were up to your number 2.
My number 2.
Your number 2. Is it
Stinks.
poo? It stinks of shit.
South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Oh, it does have poo in it. That's fantastic.
One.
Yes. This game was amazing.
Wait, hang on. Before you continue, when you were talking to Nico, I'm pretty sure you told us everything about that game known to man. So can we fast forward through this time?
Yeah, we can. We'll just add in one little extra bit.
Okay.
The Nazi fetus.
Oh, yeah.
That comes out of Khloe Kardashian. You've got a battle. Absolutely hilarious.
Oh. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. Fight and dick jokes.
Does nothing for me, that game. Zero me.
I loved it. Every minute of it. Every minute.
I'm glad you do. That's good. And you were really excited for that game too, so I'm glad it lived up to its hype for you.
Filthy expectations.
That's it, you sick fuck. Alright. Red, what's your number 2?
We haven't touched on this one yet, but Shadow of Mordor. Enough said.
Yeah.
I got off my birthday, thank you, Weeksy. It was a very generous gift. 2 days later, 100%.
Yeah, good job. Love your work. Full red mode.
Hey?
Full
Platinum?
red mode. Oh, platinum.
No platinum. 1 trophy to go. One trophy. Fuck you.
Did you platinum it, did you?
Not yet.
Oh, what's that saying about glass houses and throwing stone?
I don't know. I got that question wrong and you don't know, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Good call. It's me now, yeah? My number 2. Do you want to guess? I think I haven't said yet. Okay, that's a good answer.
Number 1.
Forza Horizon 2.
Oh, Destiny.
Hey, we've got Rayman over here, but you failed. Red, you're correct. Number 2 for me is Destiny. Now, I haven't heard any of you guys mention that, but for me, Destiny was amazing. Another game like Hearthstone. I had no interest in this game when it was announced. I was like, whatever. I didn't like Halo. I never played Halo. I've got no interest in this stupid game. The alpha came out, and I was hooked. It was like a drug. It was like I just had a face full of some sort of illegal chemical and just couldn't stop smashing it down my throat. But anyway, I played the alpha as much as I could. It was a little bit buggy and disconnected all the time, which annoyed me. Then the alpha came out and I played it for a solid 24 hours in a week. I loved it to death. And then the game came out and I played that heaps too. And I've just loved it ever since. And I'm glad now that the expansion's just come out and it sparked everyone's interest again. So people are coming back and I've got people to play with. So I'm really impressed with it. I love the gameplay. I love the grind a little bit. I just really enjoy the gameplay. It's an awesome game. So that's why Destiny's my number 2. Gave me so much hype and so much happiness. Red, we were in the raid last night.
Yep.
How many times did I say, geez, I love this co-op?
Yeah, I know. Everyone's going, oh, fucking just fucking play, man. Just there you go. The serenity.
It was a really good enjoyment for me last night. Like just the whole.
Euphoric, yeah.
Everybody was saying, "All right, you go down the left, you go down the middle, I'll be down the right. Oh, there's an oracle, come and back me up. Oh, thanks for shooting that guy, you saved my life. Oh, I need a revive. 5 seconds, guys." All that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
All that it's as much as there's 6 guys talking all at once. We all worked pretty well together until it got late and frustrating and then we started shouting at each other. But that's another story. It was still a really enjoyable thing for me. I haven't got that from any other game. Definitely not with 6 people at the same time.
I've not had a better connection to a multiplayer game.
That's true. It is they have got perfect servers, and as we've discussed in previous episodes of the show, beta testing, alpha testing, all that sort of stuff, it definitely works.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why Destiny's my number 2 game. All right, Sean, kick us off with your number 1.
Well, nobody's said it. I have a very good feeling about this.
Maybe because it might be unanimous.
Yes.
On 3?
Well, do we want to do that? Do you want to do that on 3?
Yeah.
All right. Wait. So do we say 3 and then like a good second?
Yeah.
So do we go 1, 2, 3?
Go.
Say it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Far Cry 4.
You got the touch.
Throat singing.
You got the power.
Resonates in my dreams. What the?
Who was that?
Sure, you can do that for me.
Let's do that again.
Oh.
Oh my god. Really good.
How fucking good is the game, but...
We've got a karate here right now. Oh.
Hey, fucking!
Yeah, Rabbit Verana here.
Hey, Thorncliffe, is your asshole clean?
Good, you know I care about every bit of you. Every bit.
Oh, fucking hell. Far Cry 4. A fantastic game. Oh, first things first, who's got a platinum? Me.
Me.
I thought we were going to be doing the... So I wanted to be an individual next week and say, I got platinum. Besides in Steel Red Thunder.
Fucking crowd listening to you.
Didn't you, I don't know if my memory is serving me correctly, but I'm pretty sure earlier in the show, speaking with one of the guys...
Yes, I said I'd have it by
you
now.
have it by the time we record the show.
Yes. That was yesterday. And I realised how much of a big grind I've got to do. I still need 18 skill points.
Oh, that's funny. But anyway, just fantastic aspects to the game where the story was awesome, as was Far Cry 3. The graphics were amazing. The game worked, except for the co-op. That was a bit shitty, but it was just, I don't know, it was just amazing. I love the
I should have said fuck you to Red yesterday when he wanted a co-op so he couldn't get the platinum.
It just makes me think, I won't mention names, but a colleague from here, Aussie Gamers, gave me a bit of a spur along the other day, and this colleague said to me, oh, I'm going to have the platinum before you, and I turned around yesterday and said, fuck you, Sean, got it.
But yeah, look, I love the look of it. I love the story. I love the choices. I love the helicopter thing, the buzzer. I love the weapons. There's so many cool weapons you can pick.
Everything wants to kill you.
Yeah, it had a really good balance between humour and serious action as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a slapstick comedy, but it was funny.
Real choice.
It had good action in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the missions, and then like after you'd have a certain mission done, and then you'd hear like it come across the radio, and it was actually Pagan Min talking to you,
yes,
saying, like this is what's going on, or this, or you've pissed me off now because you didn't just come and talk to me. And just the open world, it's massive, absolutely huge, and it's just beautiful. You can go to the edge of the cliff, you jump off, you get the wingsuit nice and early in it. Yeah. I cannot say a bad word about this game. You know what? I don't know. I think they might have had an update or something, because at a point you were like flying through the trees. So you come close to a tree and you kind of like just fly through it. And the other day I was going through and I was flying through and I actually hit the tree, and it was about 3 or 4 times in a row that I did it, that I just went straight into a tree, because it wasn't killing me the day before. But there
was a recent update, so there's a possibility. But wow, so a unanimous decision for Aussie Gamers Express Game of the Year 2014.
Yeah, big time. Well done.
It was a tough decision for me. There was one other game that I was contemplating for number 1. You may think, that's a bit strange. Wouldn't it have been Destiny if it was a close thing? But no, it was a game that I put a bit of deliberation to, but I decided to leave it off the list, and that's Drive Club.
Or snap right in the field. Rain.
No, just kidding. That was never going on my list.
Well, I was amazed. It was amazing.
It might have made the list, but...
Yeah, no one said it was a low light of the year either.
It's because no one played it.
Well, the whole fucking situation surrounding it.
Unlucky.
If we want broken stuff, we'll play the Xbox first. Oh,
Idiot.
right.
You're outnumbered, douchebags, so keep your mouth shut. Xbox is coming through. You know, because Sean and I bought an Xbox, that's why the Xbox One beat...
Because I couldn't afford a Jeep.
What a Jeep.
What?
What a Jeep.
I like it. What a Jeep.
Oh, dear. That ad really needs to be changed to "you bought a Jeep." Are you fucking serious? Ed, why did you buy a Jeep? Anyway, well, that brings the Game of the Year segment of the show to an end.
Awesome.
That's it, and yeah, I'm a bit sad. That was
our diversity through the top 10. Sean picked COD for this reason. I picked it for another reason. One had one up here, one had down there. I didn't have Destiny.
Yeah.
But we all come together at the end. That's a sex thing.
Good work, Red.
Yeah, I know.
That was the Game of the Year. Far Cry 4, unanimous with the 3 Aussie Gamers Express podcast, admin, people, hosts, whatever.
Legends,
lunatics. All right, let's move on.
We also had, did Bob say it was his top one as well?
Who said
Nico's?
that?
No, not Nico's.
Snitty.
Snitty
Said it was his number one. All right, well, let's move on from Game of the Year and let's do our last What's That Sound for the year.
I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
All right, so last week again, Sean got Batman Arkham Origins, or Batman, I think he said, but that's close enough for the cigar.
They say crime doesn't pay. Someone ought to check the good police commissioner's pockets, because they are lined with my money.
So congratulations to you. We also have had a couple of winners as well. Forgive me, I don't have their names handy, but congratulations to them. You will be... Was it Ross and Rusky, was it?
Yep.
Good work, Red. Thanks for that. And there will be possibly some other winners. It's a little bit different with the day that we record versus the end of the competition, so it's a bit confusing, but those are the ones that have entered and are winners at this point in time. So, without further ado, I guess you guys want to hear this week's sound.
To preserve the very fabric of existence. But the balance has been broken. Even now, Earth smolders in ruin, fallen to the demon.
I think I know.
Oh, I'm happy if you know. I don't care if I don't know, as long as you get it. Go, Red. What is it?
I think it's Darksiders.
Oh, really? What do you think? That's very...
Virgil from Darksiders.
I have no idea.
It's either one of two. I was thinking along the lines of Darksiders or Dante's Inferno.
Oh.
Yeah, it could be another one.
Should we play it again?
No, I'm not going to let you listen to it again. All right, have another listen to it.
To preserve the very fabric of existence. But the balance has been broken. Even now, Earth smolders in ruin, fallen to the demon.
Earth Fallen.
I think I'll go with Red on that. What's his one?
I think it's Darksiders.
Yeah.
Let me just have a guess. Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
I thought you were at least going to go with something like DMC.
Which one are you in Darksiders 1? Which one are you? War. And then it's Death in the second one.
He's a shit character. I didn't like playing him. War. What is he good?
Who's got? I started singing it as you were trying to make your joke.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for ruining everything. Alright guys, if you think you know what that sound is for this week and the last one for the year, feel free to please send us a message to our Facebook page telling us what you think the sound is, and if you are correct, we'll send you a game. And that is it. That's it for the show. That's 2014 done with.
Fantastic. What a great
Should we each take a second to say Merry Christmas to everyone?
Oh,
no, we don't want to offend anybody. Happy holidays, Red.
Yeah. I'm just going to
you know
say
what?
it.
I'm pretty sure, if not just this episode, pretty much every episode that we've had, we've offended somebody.
Someone.
So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody that listens.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
I
you
wish
need
you all
to
the
get Mr. Garrison's Christmas song and played it in there.
I do the editing and I don't like South Park, so that's not going to happen.
It's a funny Christmas song, though.
I think everyone should take the time out and try and find someone suffering from some form of misfortune and point and go, rain! Merry Christmas, buggers.
I love it.
Guess what, Red? I'm getting an Xbox One for Christmas, so I'm pointing at you and going, rain!
Misfortune's on you, fucker.
All right, just quickly before you do the outro, Sean, I just want to get soppy again. I don't think I did make this much of a point as yet, but I want to say a very special thank you to you two guys. You guys have, every single episode have come, joined me to do the podcast that we put together as everybody hears. You guys are always there. You're always ready and raring to go. And you guys have been putting in 110%. And I just want to say thank you very much. Without you guys, there is no Aussie Gamers Express podcast. So, yeah. I just want
Aussie
you guys...
Gamer Express podcast.
It'd be an Aussie Gamer Express podcast. Be fucking impressive. But, yeah, look, I just want you guys to know that, yeah, you guys do an awesome job. And
cheers for the behind the scenes, too, that no one is ever going to really, including me, be able to appreciate what you contribute. Not in hours, but in effort. No
worries, man. It's all for the love, and you guys are an integral part of it, so thank you very much. All right, Sean.
59 podcasts straight. Woo!
59.
Yeah.
Well, we've done more than 59.
Yeah, but I've done them all of the Express ones.
Right.
Because you fucking really good at the whole Express thing, aren't you?
Yeah. Ask me, missus.
In the pages.
This was a triumph.
Now that we're at the end of this week's show, please take the time to like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/AussieGamers2012. If you tweet your life away on a daily basis, follow at AussieGamers12 on Twitter. For all of our posts from Facebook, get directly onto there and retweet and do all your things you usually do in the Twitter sphere. Follow us on Twitch TV at Aussie Gamers TV at twitch.tv for some gaming and raging sessions. You can download this podcast directly to the device of your choice using Stitcher, TuneIn Radio or iTunes. While we're off on our little short hiatus until next year, make sure you go back and check out some of the older episodes. They're really good, especially the red-free ones. Check out our blog, AussieGamersExpress.blogspot.com.au for all of our news and reviews. We've got a YouTube channel as well. Just search Aussie Gamers Express. You can send us snail mail if you like. That's PO Box 130 Cranebrook, New South Wales 2749.
Good stuff. All right, for those of you that are still listening this far into the episode, we should be expected now. This is not a promise. I'm not making a promise. I'm saying this purely to give you guys an idea on when we're going to be back. But it's going to be roughly between the 11th to the 18th. You should expect the next show. I think it'll be episode 60 and in 2015. So no promises.
And I'll be married.
You will be married by then.
Congratulations, Red.
Which is why I'm suggesting maybe the 18th. So that's probably the go. It'll be back by the 18th. If not earlier, that's good, but we'll let you know. Look, we're not going anywhere. We'll still be on the Facebook page. It'll still be running as business as usual, and we'll likely give you an update as to when the show's coming back on there anyway. So
there's still games to play. Fuck.
Fear not. Yeah, that's correct.
It's going to be a big one for number 60 then, because
there's going to be some massive sessions over it.
Yes, and it'll also be the first episode for 2015. All right, well, that's been a mammoth of an episode, number 59 of the Aussie Gamers Express, and the last one for 2014. Thank you very much to everybody again. I've been LewkOne.
I've been Thorncliffe.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I've been Red.